Hello class, today the purpose of my speech will be to inform you of the importance of reading. The more that you read, the more that you'll know, the more that you learn, the more places you'll go. This quote by Dr. Seuss from the book I Can Read With My Eyes Shut, while just a children's book, does illustrate the point of reading a book. Today the purpose of my speech will be to inform you of the benefits of opening up a book every now and again. Today I will discuss the decline of reading in America, some of the benefits of reading, and the new ways that people are beginning to read. First, let's look at the current downward trend of reading in America. The number of Americans that read for pleasure has slowly been declining. In the study, To Read or Not to Read, conducted by the National Endowment for the Arts, it found that all ages of Americans are reading less, but young adults are reading less for pleasure than other age groups. In the study, it found that young adults ages 18 through 24 saw a 12% decrease in reading for pleasure, and that 17-year-olds that read nothing for pleasure has doubled in the last 20 years, while the amount of time spent on required reading has remained the same. This graph clearly shows the correlation between reading often and test scores. This one right here shows reading every day in correlation to reading scores. You can see that it's quite higher than those that do not read every day. And this one right here is a graph showing the scores of writing in 12th graders that read every day down to not reading every day. And you can see quite the difference. The study also showed that individuals that have higher reading skills tend to have higher incomes and more success in their careers. Of the three levels of reading, proficient, basic, and below basic, 61% of proficient readers held positions in management, business, finance, or other management positions, while only 18% of basic readers held positions in the same career fields, and only 7% of below basic readers held the same positions. Proficient readers also have higher incomes, and the percentage of proficient readers earning higher incomes was often double or triple the amount of basic and below readers earning the same amount of income. We can see Americans are reading less, and the higher the level you can read at directly influences how much you make. Let's look at the other benefits of reading. Mental stimulation. Mental stimulation is important for your brain, and reading books can help prevent Alzheimer's, diseases like Alzheimer's. Mental stimulation is pretty much just exercise for your brain, and different kinds of reading are more beneficial for exercising your brain. A study conducted by Stanford University found that reading for literary study was more beneficial for cognitive functions, whereas reading for pleasure was beneficial but was not as effective. Reading a book like this, History of Afghanistan, would be more beneficial for you than reading a book like Harry Potter, even though Harry Potter is probably more fun to read. A study conducted by the Rush University Medical Center in Chicago administered a test to 294 adults ages 65 and above every 6 years until their deaths. The survey asked the people if they read books, wrote, or did similar activities. The studies found that the individuals that participated in reading or similar activities had cognitive activity decrease at a 15% lower rate than those that did not. So we can see that all kinds of reading are beneficial, whereas reading for literary study is better for cognitive exercise. The benefits to reading can be witnessed in everyday life, and now with new technology, it makes it even easier to read. Reading books has gone through many different stages over the course of its history, from ancient scrolls to the modern paperback book. But with new technology, accessibility to books is even easier. With the introduction of e-readers, the way we read is changing again. There were a few attempts to introduce e-readers in the late 1990s, according to the article 20 Years of E-Reader Evolution by Jennifer Lewinsky, but it did not really take effect until 2007 when Amazon came out with a Kindle. Since the Kindle has been introduced, it has had to compete with Barnes & Noble's Nook and Apple's iPad, which has an iBook section as well as a Kindle app available. There are many benefits that an e-reader can offer. These are a few that I've found to be most helpful. The ability to store multiple books on one compact device. If the device is connected to the internet, You can highlight words or phrases and find the meaning of them if you do not know, which increases your vocabulary and knowledge, and the accessibility to thousands of books at just one click away, instead of having to go to a store or order a book online. While I don't think e-readers will ever completely replace paperback books, I do see them as a helpful option out there that appeals to many different kinds of people. This brings us to the end of my speech. Let's go over what I talked about today. Today I covered many important aspects of reading a book. I went over the decline of reading in the youth of America and the converse effects of not being a proficient reader, which included a higher chance of not having as high a paying job and not achieving as much success in your career. Also, the benefit of mental stimulation, which occurs from reading a book, but reading for a literary purpose exercises your brain more than just reading for pleasure, which can lower the chance of developing memory loss diseases like Alzheimer's. Lastly, the e-reader has made accessibility to books just one click away from reading. As this is our last speech, I'd like to say thanks to all of you and wish you all the best of luck, and leave you with this quote from George R.R. Martin, author of the series A Song of Ice and Fire. A reader lives 1,000 lives before he dies. The man who never reads lives only once. Thank you.